positions in the civilian services, and that is not new. It is something the military has done since they have first took over the country back in 1962. This way, military always had held important position, and there's something all of us also know very well as well, that the fact that in the governance as well as in the judiciary, when the embedded positions are taken by these military officers who transform their position from as well, and that often that they are called golden parachutes. They don't have the experience, they don't know the working environment, but they just came in because the military wants to control these important area. And these golden parachutes, what are the implications on the workplace, and what are these officers asked to do? What are they assigned? What are their mandates by being assigned as well? So that's will be that as well, that and that for us that what we look at it, and that the military always have this ideology behind, the tutorial ideologies are behind. It is important to understand what are their concepts behind, what are these way of thinking, and how do we stop that, how do we transform them into a democratic way of thinking, and what needs to be changed, and what are the things we need to recognize and be aware of. So I would like to invite you to join us in this talk show, and I will be starting to introduce our panelists. One of our speakers is Dr. Thuya. Hope you can hear me. Yes, hello. My name is Dr. Thuya. I am a doctor. I'm a dentist who have joined the civil disobedience movement. People know about you. Dr. Thuya is very well known. That even in the train in the Paunji Paunji where the civil servant training course, you have been very vocal about what is going on and what is not going well. So thank you for sharing and thank you for joining in this talk show. Can you also share about your work now? I was posted at the Mogota health office as a health officer, township health officer, and I was as a dentist in charge of the township. I served in 2018 and 2019 in Mogo Township. After that, I passed the admission test for the postgraduate training for the oral and mesothelioma surgery. So in 2020, I was admitted. So I am in Mandalay. I'm attending as a postgraduate student in Mandalay. And while I was attending that in Mandalay Institute of Dental Medicine, that the time the coup happened, when the coup happened, I joined the CDM movement at that. When we first joined the movement, the CDM was a term that was quite new. At that time when we joined, when the coup happened, that we refused to work under the military regime, we refused to work under the military dictatorship, and that as civil servant, we understand that it is impossible to work under such people. So we have we have left our place, and in the first week of February, on the 6th of February, so all the health officer, when we say health officers, we have all the healthcare practitioners. The healthcare practitioners, like, they are so comprehensive in joining the civil movement. Even the ward servant, who do the cleaning in different wards in the hospital, and we have to the professors, the highest consultants there are. So the hospital, like we have a university that hospital, they all join from the very lowest level to the highest level of physicians. We have joined this movement that we call it we call ourselves Medical Family Mandalay, or MFM, and then we joined the civil disobedience movement in early February 2021. So we are also part of the GSCB as well. So you are also present in the Generous Right Coordination Body, and then yes, we also have noticed that Medical Family Mandalay as well. That thank you for sharing in this revolution. As all of you know, that that many, like many other ministries and the public service departments, the doctors and healthcare professionals have been very very strongly participating in the conflict. So can you also share some updates about what your work as well? So we joined the CDM movement and we organize strikes and demonstrations in the street. Then we are doctors that that so that we cannot stop our work, treating patients. CDM means that we don't stop treating the patient. That CDM is just refusing to work under the military. So that so we had we also that we one that one we all were also providing treatment to the patients. Those peaceful demonstrators were shorted or beaten by the military. We started doing in March in March 27. So we don't go to the fire zone. So when those demonstrators were shorted and fire upon, that they will be extracted from the fire zone. And we have a base where we have two clinics, mobile clinics, and then we also those patients who are still mobile, they will be taken to safe places. And then since starting March 27, 2021, for about 5 months, we're providing these the hidden clinics where we'll be providing treatment as well. And then there was also the military then also we were not able to do that as well. That the revolution also have changing. Revolution has changed from the demonstration to the PDF. We're also providing PVF that mobile clinics. So we are also in the liberated areas. We are providing treatment to the PDF fighters who got injured or injured as well. For example, like we have mobile clinics in the northern Shan. We have in Sakai region. We also have our team in Cronies state, in Kachin state, in Mandalay. We are in different areas where we MFM, the medical family of Mandalay, have been providing as well. On the other hand, we also do logistics support as well. In the beginning, we support we were focused on supporting the IDBs, but along with the armed revolution, we also need funds to support these armed resistance. So we do we do our gallery exhibitions. We also raise funds on a monthly basis to support the PDFs. That's also what we do as an organization. This is a part of the work how we are contributing to this as well. Thank you, Dr. Soturaso, for for the sharing as well, and so that the healthcare professional has been very involved in since the very beginning of the coup. And also thank you also for the updates for that as well, that it is also a chance for us to introduce you to our audience as well. May I invite another speaker? Is, as we have announced, this is the police officer Layang or Moonlight. Kulayang, are you here? Yes. Can you share us about your path to CDM and also what you are doing? Can you share a little about that? Yes. I was in Makui region, and that I joined the CDM movement from the Mino Central Police Station and in the district of Makui region. After that, I was taking shelter in a place in Myanmar. I was joining in the demonstrations along with the people as a peaceful demonstrators in a small part of Myanmar. And then when I stood the scene that violence cracked down of the peaceful demonstrations, I moved to a safe and secure place. And then I'm working with the revolutionary fighters there. They can also be called as local PDFs. I'm also working with a local PDF in that it's the safe place as well. After working with the local PDFs in 2021 September, it is no longer safe for us to stay inside Myanmar. So it is no longer possible to stay. Whenever we move to a safe place, there are always raids and arrests and that of the people. So I have escaped to ethnic controlled liberated area, one of the ethnic controlled liberated areas. Since then, I'm staying in the liberated area and providing assistance to what I'm doing what I can to contribute to the revolution. Thank you. So did you go alone to a liberated areas? No, I came with my family. Yes, I have to bring my family because what the military tend to do is target the family if you join the CDM. So I can also hear the children's also voice as well. Thank you for sharing, and that this is the police CDM officer Kulaya. I would like to now invite next person, Captain Wana. Good evening. Wana, can you share us about your journey to the civil disobedience movement? Immediately after the coup, I am from the medical corps, so that immediately after the coup, that we all the those so when all the medical doctors and practitioners were joined the CTM movement, and that and some of them do not have much experience, and people don't know where to go to get treatment. So if we try the CDM immediately, I think it will be harder for people because a lot of doctors have tried the CDM. So I didn't try the CDM immediately. I remained in service to provide as well. I was also working very discreetly to support the movement as well. It was only in May 2022 that I was able to join the CDM movement fully. Thank you for sharing, and that you were able to join that May 2022. So thank you for joining the CDM movement because you are from medical corps. That is an expert. You have an expertise that people need. Even before you were able to completely join the CDM movement as a young man, as also the professional that you are supporting the CDM movement as well as the revolution. So it is already a great contribution, and the fact that you are able to join the CDM movement the wholeheartedly in May, that is a major loss for the military as well. So I think we can, all people here we have the speakers from coming from different backgrounds. You all are young. They all have a different commitments, but they all also share the similarity of remaining right and committed to the movement as well. So please feel free to ask your questions to any of our speakers. Our links are provided in the Facebook as well as you can also use the comment section to ask questions to our speakers. I would like to now give a turn to Dr. Thuya. You are already quite well known that you're quite well known in the sense that I think it was quite popular. What you had talked about is about the civil servant training in Paungji Township, that otherwise we call it a Paungji training. That you have also highlighted that what is going on with this Paungji training, where the military try to brainwash, try to push people into formative frames, and you are sharing and you are speaking out that this ideological kind of a framing is not good. So I would like to go directly into the topic as well. Right now, in these civil servant trainees, are used as a propaganda tools to brainwash the civil servants, not just the civil servant, but also military as well as on civilian officer. What is your experience and what is your take on such propaganda mechanisms? Thank you for your question. So that what really got me was this what they call it, the hairs that there was a survey, and this was not new, that it has happened before. There are many events similar that has happened. What we need to look into when I talk about this is that the way the structure of civil servants, that all the civil servants, all the civilians have the highest level of civil service is the union, the civil service board. They are the highest authority. Then there are two universities for civil service. We call it in Paungji, that is also the Central Service University, and there is another one in Myanmar Synergy. When we look at these two universities, there are curriculums. these curriculums, and they had the curriculums they adopted have been the ones they use since the time of the first military regime. They always talk about that how good the military is, and that how they have is that so they always have this perspective as well, that in terms of ideology, that's what they are trying to push and do as well, that when it comes to that that the way they have framed it is that military is the savior of the country. Military are the heroes. Military save the people and save the nation, and that's the main propaganda they want to give. And this propaganda is used to brainwash, because when you join the civil service, you have to attend to either of the two universities, and you have to, that's inevitable. So they by putting it in the mandatory the curriculum in these universities, they're making sure that their propaganda transmitted as well. If when you look at those lecturers and those who are the teachers in these tutors, and they are what we call we call them the we call them the golden shoe. We call them these are the military, former military officers. All these were transformed into civil servants. These are about 75% of them are from the military background. So these are civil service university and the Union Civil Service Board is infiltrated to a large extent by the military. This way they can brainwash them as well. They brainwash, and they also to implement them, they will make sure that instead of civilian trainers, they get sent military officers as trainers to run their propaganda mechanism. So since the first two regimes back in the 1988 as well as on the 1996 and 2010 in the quasi-civilian government, and that they say it was the same, they ran the same in that under and the NLD government, it was also the same, right? That when it comes to the NLD government, what we also hear is that the way they try to, or they also change the position of how they form it, and the way they do is that they change the system, they change it as well. That what we are also seeing is that so what they do is that like last month, for example, like SAC, they have replaced the entire Union Service Board. If I remember correctly, 630 officers were transferred into that as well. So 30 go to the Nebula headquarters, and then to the different states and different major areas. So there's 630 military officers being given this position, the Unity Board, if they were trying to target the CDM, that they want to punish the CDM. That's why they are focusing on the Union Service Board. The Union Service Board is a high authority board for the civilian working in providing civil service as well. So that is something they focus on. That after the coup in 2021, that most of the civil servants that joined the CDM movement, so they want to oppress, they want to persecute the civil servant who joined the CDM movement. While they are in power, they will make sure no others will have the bravery, will be able to try, will be able to show up and join the CDM movement. That's why they want to put more propaganda, they want to brainwash more, they want to restrict more civil servant as well. So in the layman terms, that we can say that we joined the CDM movement. So at the CDM, that people say that we are waiting for it, they say that we have trying to escape the hell. We are trying for a new war, a new nation as well. But the non-CDMs right now, they are practically in hell. They will be suffering a lot under the brainwash and the propaganda mechanisms and tools as well. I would call them brainwash, like the people will say that they are under so much restrictions and the brainwashing of the military. They will be struggling. The non-CDM will be struggling that a lot, and that the new civil servants that they are recruiting, they were probably in the same as well. They will be suffering a lot under the brainwashing mechanism of the SAC. That's what they will have to look forward to. And after listening to you, and that shows that in the Pongji and Zibenji in the civil servant trainings, that it also shows that brainwashing that in the articles, and that we also have heard that not often that most of them don't know about it, and that most also didn't speak up because of the so much of the oppression as well as retaliation as well. For those who are speaking up, it also shows us very clearly that how that how like hellish that kind of situation is, that you are that the civil servants attending such trainings, you are not allowed to speak up, and you just have to take it what they are sort of like pushing you into that being a brainwash into, and that is it is horrible indeed. So thank you for sharing about the CDM movement as well. So let's go back to the police force. I would like to ask Kulaya, and when we say police force, since the very beginning that although the police wanted to stand by the people, however, police always people always feel that police is under the control of the military, and that also there are also a lot of military golden parachutes in the police officer. They call themselves police officer, but in reality, they act and follow the orders of the military directly. Often when we talk about Myanmar police force, we call them as the tools, or the proxy soldiers, or those who are being used by the military. As a police officer, that how do you see that? How do you see the difference? And what about the that can you also share about it as well? Well, firstly, so you call them the golden parachutes, or the that military officers who are being in a position in the police force. When they are posted inside the police force, all the police officers lost a lot because they have no experience in running things. They just want to control the police. They came to govern. They came to administer. They want to manage us, and they don't understand about the law. They don't understand about the police procedures or protocols. In our own experience, that for example, for example, like a police commissioner for the that is the police commissioner will ask for the district commissioner. Then the district commissioner will ask some information to the township officer. The township officer will ask for the commander, police commander. The commander, and then they will ask. They will either investigation officer or the surveillance. They will also ask the information like that, so that every time they're going through one level to another, and in the end that they will ask for us for money. They will ask for us, so that even if you don't want to get bribery, you have to you don't have to get bribes, because you have to pay them money, because these golden parachutes are there, and they will say that I want money. The what do you call them, the bamichu, or the of the pants kind of, of the military pants people, we have to pay them money. They will ask for the money from us. So we have to, in that case, we have no choice but to bribery. We have to make threats. You have to work with these criminals to be able to get bribery, so that we can pay them now, because we don't get the salary to pay them. Because of these, there are a lot of implications. So there is also the loss for the integrity and professionalism, because the police force is corrupted, and that also there is also loss for the justice system. There is no justice, because all the justice will be the evidence will be distorted, or the criminal cases will be in a way that manipulated, so that they can make money as well. Because if we cannot give money, then the police will be in trouble. The police officer will be transferred to a remote area as well. Have you seen it? Have you seen such experience yourself? Yes, I have seen it. I have suffered from it. I also been bullied by the military, the former military as well. That sometimes we have also seen officers and non-officer alike. They are being treated as victims as well, and that we cannot follow the law. We have to follow their orders. Only those officers who will make them money, we call them that. So who can who can give them money as an homage to them, then they will be getting big position. You get in a good position, and you can also that also mean that you can also make good for your money as well. That if not. If you are like that, and then they will say that just because you don't give them money, and then you will never get a good position. that so if we look at some of our the police force, because everybody in Myanmar is also is that what we will do is the difference is that the differences are between that they would that there are police stations which make more money or which make less money by corruption. So if you can bribe them, then you get to a good police station where you can make a lot more money. If you cannot bribe, if you don't bribe them, you don't have the means, then you are be probably to a really bad stations where you don't make money. So the laws are only in the book. There is nothing there that people cannot as well. So like that means like you have to do bribery. Yes, you have to bribe a lot to be able to be able to do that. Because in the police force, we also there are a lot of people who are just there for performance. They people really are not working, and that, for example, like in a central police station, like in a township like mine, I was there should be about 60 officers in their station. But if you look at every police station in Myanmar, that we have much less than what is in the law that because the 60 officers in every township, that's only on in the books. In reality, every station has less people. So what we have to do is that they know that as well. They know that. So what they will do is if you don't follow their ideas, then they will be in trouble. So what they will do is we have to do a lot of just for show as well, and that they have to make sure that it looks like that you have a lot more people, and that that what you have to do, like as for example, if you are providing security, the same guard, the same police will be going to this festival. They just take a picture of them, so just the police officers, so, provide the security. Then there will be these police officers will be just going around doing sentry duty, because we don't have enough police officer. And these are the same soldiers where we go. Those who that in the police station, the police officers have many duties, but they don't see that. They just want to have many officers, and they want to be 70%. So we just go and then sort of like stand there as if we are running sentry just for show, just take a picture to show a record of it. Then we come back because we don't have enough people to really send to different people as well. And a lot of officers are like that. They will have to even do join. They will have to do more than that as well, and that sometimes that so that that when you have that parliamentarians, and you be a little better. But nowadays it's like you have to follow the orders blindly. If you cannot do that, then you'll be in trouble. So that's how they are in the police station, police work. So in with the police station, so that situation is really works. So police is not just police that have a chance to do their job, but they just do all of these military officers, the military who stand themselves into police, and who don't want that we just have to follow their orders blindly. There is no truth, there is no justice. For example, like a criminal case, in a case, if you can the side, the part of the client, the party that can who can bribe, then you will win the case. And that if it is a criminal case, and that the perpetrator, the accused, risk 10 years or a sentence, if you give money, you get released for free, you get acquitted. If you even if you get sentenced, there's minimal sentence, even while in prison, if you give money to the warden, then to the officers in charge, then you can stay outside. You don't even have to be there in the prison, or you live in prison in a very good, and the lesser condition. So these we call them about these military officers. They are above the law. So they are above the law. So there is no reality. There is no way on it. So in a way that the police force, and the motto and the slogan, the belief in is all gone as well. So if we try to thank you for sharing, and that what we can see is that that the standards and the values and professionalism of the police force has been, it has been destroyed as well. That these that golden parachute, the military officers taking important positions, they're doing this in such a way that because they bring their idea of corruption and bribery into the police force, at the same they did to the other ministry as well. And then the way they just try to control this. So for them, it's most important important is to make money and to be to get payments out of the corruption. Police force already has is riddled with the corruption, so that when these military officers came into government, then it also create more problem as well. So can I follow up with the next question? So there has been a cases of these golden parachute former military turned police senior officials. There has been a very big scandals as well. One scandal is that of a police general who was a former hierarchy military officer who had committed sexual harassment and sexual violence against his subordinate as well. So that these such cases were a lot of, it makes a lot of scandal as well. So that any updates on the case, I would say the situation now is worse, because even at that time while I was still serving in the police force, my experience is we have also have young female police officers. They are posted not only in our station but also at the not only at the township level but also in the district level but also at the regional level as well. Some of them are officers, some of them are at junior level. That whenever we had when the commanding officers are drunk, then what they will do with these police officers, what these female officers, they were just first thing, there will be verbal harassment. There will also be that other for the assessment as well, that they would be as for harassment, and they will be really just be they would physically also harass them as well. And we have seen that with our own eyes, and that sometimes this is what we see, because we also hear about these different things as well. We also hear about it, like if you want to get promotion, then you have to go and have to have sex with the senior officer, and that kind of harassment that has happened before, and that's why these cases got complained as well. And there are cases where we have seen as well that all these are, I would say, like these are different forms of harassment and bullying, because they are that's what that's how the former military is saying that we can do whatever we want in the police force. The salaries that we make is very, very little. But I want to say is to all the other police officers and that rank and file as well, the salary we make are given by the people. It is not given by the military. Okay, this not military is not we don't owe any allegiance to the military. It's not given by me online. It's that it is it is they are bullying us. They are sending that military some of them have to we have to bribe our own senior officer to make to because we are being threatened to lose our position, or that they are also that they was if you don't because we're this position or salary of their bed. That's what we don't know whether what they are doing. They have enacting very unfair and unjust laws just to bully and then to oppress the subordinate as well. Right now that those who are higher than the district level officers, they would those young police officers or women, men or women, they are asked to stay at their house, and they are being made to work as maids or the drivers, or they are treated like slaves. They have to carry out every duty of the Assam. This is a modern form of slavery, and it's not new. This is something we have heard from the soldiers who have joined the CDM moon as well. And this kind of slavery, because it's slavery, they are being forced to do duties which they are not mandated to. So are you saying that this is also happening in the police force? Like you have about the sexual harassment, and there's like a physical harassment, a verbal harassment, and when there has been a cases, in the end they are above the law, so they are not get punished for that 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 it is important that those who are that so that means that those who are working under the military will never be free as well. Thank you for sharing, Kulayam, our police CDM, and also that right now all the CDMers, like as I said, we are trying to build a new world. We are trying to go to a new world. What kind of new world there is? It's a question, and that is also we also want to know how we can help other non-CDMers to join the movement as well. Next, I would like to invite Captain Wana. Right now, that military. So when you look at these former military 10 that are 10 different senior officials and various police and that military in the different ministries and services, and that very recently a general was assigned as a the deputy governor of the central bank and also in the Union Election Commission. And this way, these departments are very different from that of the military, and yet they are sending the military officer to the highest possible. So what kind of officers are selected to be to this position? Why they are being appointed in the civilian department? Can you share your opinion? Well, the golden parachutes are something, it's a term that all of people know and a lot of people say about it as well. It is a nepotism, it is a clientelism, okay? It's sort of like a, patron-client kind of situation, that they are not actually finding that, qualified people. They will just look at how loyal these people are, how they will be, how they are corrupted, how they will provide bribery, and how these officers contribute to their own commercial interests. And that's why they are giving this position, important position, where they can make money, contribute as well. To make it very clear, what I can say, like, I think there was a very popular joke. So 1 + 1 makes what? And if you answer 2, then if you say 2 is wrong, if you say 2 is wrong, and then what about they say that 1 + 1 equals, and they said that so like the joke says that, like, we sort of like close the doors and all the windows and say, okay, how much you want 1 + 1 to be? That's the guy who will get the job. That's the guy who will get such position in various ministry, those who can make money. On the 19th of August, I think the military dismissed the governor and vice governor of central bank, and they appointed with the military officers who were those who they are very well known, like Dr. She was appointed as the governor. Dr. Sui, who was the vice governor, she was given as well. And then Director General, General Zomina, who was serving as a Director General for the SAC the Community Office, and now he was appointed as a vice governor of Central Bank. Central Bank is a very important for the financial institution. They are important to make important financial policies for the country. And that Central Bank has important duties like setting the exchange rate, looking at the interest rate, and also managing the government expenditure in US dollar as well. Central Bank also have an important part of the monetary circulation as well. They manage the circulation. So it's an important civilian department, and it's important to be independent. And that when that not only the position of the governor and the vice governor, and then and also that also lieutenant colonels were appointed into different positions in the central bank as well. And if you look at all these moves, if all these transfer, this is merely nepotism. They just are the officers who are transferred are mostly they are close to them, who have bribed them, who can contribute to them, and thus they are giving their important position so that so by controlling the central bank, they believe that they can control the economy of the country, and this way they can also manage. They think that they might be able to resolve the political problems, so that they will also make them facilitate with their business interests as well. Like Jordan Sui and their General Somina, even before them, Winso, Udemi, before them. Udeni already is actually was during the NLD government time. He was Ujojo Mao, and Ujojo Mao was removed from his position. Ujojo Mao was appointed as governor, and during the NLD civilian government, and then what they do is that yes. Then I think Ugonge was arrested, and then these are positions. They appointed those two people. Those two people were now removed to be replaced by the other two, that one military and non-military, but who follow the orders. Maybe they want to because these people were not able to make a difference. That's why they have changed that. They shuffled there also. That's why they always shuffle with the assist generals and or the lieutenant colonels in the important position, because they think Central Bank is important and they want to control their board as well. Thank you for reminding Captain Kowana, because before, I think around 2008, 2007, because the Constitution was drafted and adopted even before in 2007, they start to transfer a lot of police officers into the senior position, and they don't look into the expertise on qualities, and they were just given high positions, high senior senior official position in the civilian civilian ministry. That time, those officers were there, and they were out there. There were a lot of frictions and with the officer as well, because these military officers come with a military practice as well. So what you have learned is that all these military officers were taking important positions in these civilian departments, and that now they don't believe in democracy, they believe in the leadership. So in reality, what they are trying to do is they are trying to, now they may say they are going to organize an election, they're going to be democratic, whatever they say is a sham, and that it doesn't matter however they're politically appointable, that they will have bureaucratic process, they get the leadership position so that they to control the management or the important roles in different ministries and departments, so that they control everything. So if you are listening, then if you think that the military seems to have a good position, I would like to just listen to us and then revise on it. So because they are not sincere, they're always a position to control everything. So now I would like to give another 10 to Siasu Turazo, that when you have a good civil, what do you think are the important ideas for important ideology for civil servants as well? There are in the ministries, there are a lot of people are saying, a lot of different things. People will say things like, oh, I cannot do the CDM for this reason or for that reason or for other reasons. There are many these so-called like former military who are taking important position in ministry. They would because their lack of experience, that they are not professional, they are not qualified, so they would just be dragging down the rule, the mandate of the ministry. So what do you think about that? So it's been 1 year since the military coup. Since that 1 year of the coup, in various ministries, they are arriving more and more these golden parachutes, these military officers given senior ranks in the civilian development. So I have seen it that I've seen them come in large numbers firstly in the Union Service Board, and secondly in the Union Election Commission. And that means that because these are the important positions, the military want to resolve the issue of the CDM. They want to control BDM from joining the CDM. They want to put more military officers there to control it as well. And then they also want to prepare for the upcoming election they want to organize in 2023. So for most of the non-CDMers, I think non-CDMers, they are stuck. They are in a way, they jump fences. If they think if the military that during in the former military regime in the 1890s, they served under the military, they serve also under they say the quasi-civilian government, they also serve under the civilian government under the NLD before the coup. So they don't, for them it doesn't matter. For them, they don't have a particular allegiance. They just follow where they for the water goes, because they know better, because they should know better, because they have suffered. Because when you have a senior officer which is really bad, then they also know how negatively impact on the department as a whole. When you have a senior officer, that you'll not get the budget. There will always be restrictions as well. That the nature also vary as well. That those officers who came from the military, often these officers, they are in the military. They joined the DSA Defense Service Academy since they finished it. They've been trained in the military way. that the community they grew up in, the society they grew up in is surrounded by the military. They stay inside the regiment and also they do have this influence of the military. It's already inbred, it's already innate, because they've been trained so much. The way the military works is you follow orders blindly, and they cannot change that. Then when they come to the civilian units, the civilian departments, and they do the same. They just follow blindly as well. That they will often say that they will ask you to get water, and they will say, I don't want to hear if your bottle has a hole, or if your water bucket has a hole, but I just want water. And that's how they give the instructions. So that the way they control, the way they manage, the way it doesn't work with the civilian authority, civilian and civil servants as well. That's why when it comes not even to management, to even for those who are that the communities feel are very restricted, but to work with them as well, that's already very difficult. Another difficulty is that the military regime that we are facing, that is the worst form of that military dictators and that military leaders. They do not hesitate to kill. They do not hesitate to use violence, and that they would never show mercy to us, to any of that as well. That like in the classroom, often the teachers will be scolding the students who are in class, for those who are missing the class, or those who are who are playing truant. So in a way, it's kind of difficult who are missing class. So I don't like it. That they often, the way they say it, we don't like it, because the salary we get as a civil servant is we are paid by the people. So we need to be loyal to the people. We need to look at the people's face. We should not be looking at the military, because the military does not equal the state. What is happening inside Myanmar? What's happening in Sagaing region? What's happening in Cronies state? What's happening in Magway region? Every day, villages are being burned down as well. And when the military is exercising such a cruel brutality, and that targeting the civilians, that the military have destroyed our nation. Our country is in collapse, is collapsing. People are suffering so much. Then one day, people are the taxpayers. People are the original, those who are supporting our salary. So if you are, then that if they are earning their salary, then do they really feel that they have the right to enjoy their salary, if they are just abusing it against the people? Because as a civil servant, you have the mandate from the people, by the people. You have to work for the people. You also have to be loyal to the people as well. And I believe that if you don't follow, then they should give up as well. That they should, that if they're not, we will call them, that there will be implication. We believe in karma, that if they're abusing the public funds, then there will be implications, that they will suffer also, not only the people's right, but also by abuse as well. And that because another military regime, there will be a community of civil servants, where there is a stronger nepotism, clientelism, bribery, corruption, and bullying against the juniors or those who are in opposition. So that you have said that as a civil servants, that it is important that you don't need to that we understand it, the civil servant, the part of the word is called civil servant, is that you show that they serve the people as well. That thank you for making the point very clear. Also, it's important for all of us to understand that, of course, nowadays, that why it is difficult for certain civil servant to join that as well. But it is also important that to do the right thing wherever you are, because even those who are in the who are in the military service, and that even while they are staying inside their military, their regiment compound, they are supporting the work as what they are. So thank you for your support. Now I would like to give turn to another round to Kulaya. So Kulaya has shared a note that the police what the police are losing, the challenges the police are facing, the rise that you yourself as a police officer, and that you are a police officer, and that you join the police force to help the people, to support the people, and you are also a young man as well. So that that a lot of people also one people highlight that military is being used by the police. How do you feel that? Of course, I feel deeply that like in the same way that the genuine police officer, there are also the real policemen, genuine policemen who are not probably still non-civilian. They feel that they feel badly, they have to follow blind orders. We are being used as tools by the military. Of course, people suffer for the police, the officers. They feel badly about it. That what I want to say is that I myself. And that I have served as I only have 8 years as a police force. That during the 8 years, and this is what I have learned in the 8 force. So those police officers who have been on the job for many years, who have been in position for many years, like they have served in the previous military regimes, and they know better. They know how bad the situation is. That what I'm sharing, what I'm saying, that and that if you ask them to speak about what is happening or how they have suffered, of course they have a lot to share. They know a lot about it. They know about the abuse and misappropriation, the military, that so-called former military, when they became police officer, who abuse the system. They know about it. That I'm sure of that. I don't know as much as they do, and yet I have joined the CDM movement, and they know better, and they should know. What I'm sharing with you, and what the Dr. Sotuaso has shared, what the other governor has shared, these are reality. These are the real truth, what we are seeing, what we are encounter as well. Yeah, what I want to say is that investigation officers and that police commanders, as well as all the other ranks as well, that are like and then we also have like a township commanding officers. They are real policemen. They have served a long time in the police force as well. So my question to them is that you have suffered so much, you have been abused by the military, and that those when you have when you have the senior police officer, they will be asking this and that. They were always harassing you, that both male and female officers verbally, and that verbally and with the behavior as well. We should not be taking it. We should not accept it. And that's why I have joined the senior movement. That's why I support the people. And that's why I joined the people in this movement of the revolution as well. If they don't, if they don't want to support NUG, then I think they should no longer stay inside the police force and do the, because now is the right time. Now is the important time. That it's like real policemen. They should need to think about what they can do, what they should do, what they want to do. It's possible because they will have all the revolutionary forces supporting him as well. Even despite these challenges, if we if you want to change the system, if they want to stay remain there will be no more opportunities. Let me give you an example. Like you should get the way you can say, so that it is important, like the expression go, you shouldn't you shouldn't just be going out with somebody you don't like. You shouldn't date somebody you don't like. I'm a junior police officer who only have 8 years under his belt, and then I know about enough to know that I cannot walk under the police regime, as well. Like the police officer that who are already who had already spent so much time in them, then they should know better what they should do, and they should be doing what they should do, because that it is not as to juniors to tell them, because this is the right time. That this kind of position, this kind of situation is incredible. So it is important for them to do what they can, what they do, and that only then will be able to to change that horrible system for the better, for the people of Myanmar, for the as well as for the others as well. That I think only then we'll be able to we be able to achieve the goal that all the people want. We want and really want Myanmar to be a new democracy union that all people want. That's what we need to inspire to as well. and 80 years in the police force, there's a lot of as well that as a junior and the non-commissioned officer, and you have the courage to join the CDM movement, to start a new lab. And of course, others should have the courage to do so as well. At that now that in that as the People's Code team, we are standing by the truth, by the righteousness, by the Dhamma. That we are always welcoming as well. It's never too late to try. It's never too late to do the right thing as well. So my next question to Governor after this will turn to a short question as a session, and the people will have a chance also to ask questions. Governor, you used to be as a soldier, and that as also a civil servant as well. When we talk about the these golden parachutes, some of the military officer could simply be following orders too. So what does an officer when he's being transferred to a civil servant? What would be your advice? And then also that how should these also. I'm sorry, I have my internet connection went down a bit. Can you give me the question once again? Yes. Yes, my question is about what will be how can we resolve the issue of these golden parachute, these military officer who is being transferred into the civil servant as well. And some of the military officer, they might not want to become a civilian officer, but when they have to follow transport orders blindly as well, they know that they don't have the expertise in certain work, and then they could be asked to do, they could be as well. And there are also those who might say that they are not able to do the CDM movement due to other reasons. So what will be your advice as well? And also as a military officer, what do you think about this being the military officer being sent by order to join the civil service? Well, they do the issue of the issue of the golden parachutes and military officer given senior positions. I think rather than giving me recommendation, that I think it is important that I think it will be better to ask that what do the people in different department want? Do they want a former military officer? So not really directly the question. I would like to ask Kunying to his question as well. I think it's quite related to your question as well. That so Kunying to have asked that these are former military golden parachutes. They are joining the two times the pensions, and like this is it are they doing that? So a lot of them are joining a lot of transferring to the civil servant. There are many reasons. They cannot join the CDM movement, or they don't want to join the CDM movement. They cannot do that for many reasons. They cannot join CDM movement, but they don't want to stay under the military as well, the control of the military, and that's why that if they were to transfer to a civilian department, they won't be. They might sort of like put themselves away from the military, so that and that in a way they will feel psychologically better, because that's also a feeling that we have also seen, that we also had that feeling, yeah, we don't want to stay in the military anymore, so we try to become a civilian department as well, and that if they don't want to join it, that is they might not have an opportunity to do that. Then it is important, like Sasududas was said before. I think it is important. Do you want to be a government servant, or do you want to be a civil servant? Then you have to think, and then make the right decision. I hope that they will make the right call. Thank you, Governor, for sharing. So we have 3 speakers. We already have asked the questions that we are prepared for our speakers right now. That we also have that participants. There are those who are joining us and rightly that in the joining us on the Zoom. So for them, we'll be giving some time to them as well. If you want to ask your questions, if you want to open your microphone and ask your question, please raise your hand. Then now is that time we not seeing any hands. If you want to ask your question, want to ask your question, please raise your hand. Then you can also use the Q&A box to do as well. Some of the question already being answered as well. So I will be reading the question as well. What Konyin to ask is that those former before, military doesn't want to change, they doesn't want to be transferred to the civil servants, but now they are they want to change a lot. Is it because there are too many too many front lines out there, that the way that according to the my friends in the family say that in the military, I think the training is like that in Syria, Israel, but then what about the Russian is like it that's happening in Sudan? Is it true? Yes, because yes, this is true because there that just set aside the training. Once you join the military, then if you are married and then you are settled, then your wife has to be considered. Your wife is automatically considered that although she doesn't get salary, she doesn't get a salary, but she was considered as a police officer. We call it being an extra slave for without any remunerations. That the women also to get these kind of training as well. Like you say, yes, we get a lot of trainings like that. True, that and also the salary and the ration we receive are not enough. It's just for men, just for the men, not for the women. So it's true, like you say, training is like Israel, and the Russian elders, the remuneration is like in Sudan. It is true. I think we also have other questions too. One question is that the amount of golden parachutes, there are also most they that if they if they are these golden parachutes, since they are military officer, they retire and then they join the civilian department. Are they getting two times, the pension from the military and then also a salary from your job? Well, not exactly pension, but they have gratuity. Military officers get gratuity for the number of years they serve, so that they get that support. Yes, some of them get it, not everyone though. Some don't. So that also is happening as well. That like if you look at the salary, you get salary from the actual department that they are working in. So just two times. So that yes, they get two times. Yet they have two sources. Yes, they do, but not for everyone. Only those only those who are close to them. It's always nepotism is plays important. So in the answer to answer that, yes, not everyone, not for every soldier. If they are, that there are a lot of, if you are from DSA, and if you are saying from the DSMA, or that and that all those among those people, at the certain of the people, if you are if you are close to that, they were treated like a special guest by the generals. There are people like that. Okay, so these people will get that kind of thing. Yes, it's true. Then that if you are from the just an officer who are coming from the ground, no, only those who have the connections, or who have the the favor of the others, that could happen. If not, yes, it won't be true. So that for some of the golden parachute, that is true, but not for it's not the same for everyone. So thank you. We are also inviting you to join us with more questions. That the are there monks in the are there monks the monks that come from the golden parachutes? Yes, I also answered that question by my type as well. Yes, so can you also speak roughly? No, I don't think so. That from the I don't think there are former military officer who become a celebrity monk or such like that. But there also SAC also have special monks as well, like they're popular monks that they would follow, like Tirigu Searo, for example. Like this, that's what the military tend to be close as well. I think the question that the family said, when we say golden parachute, we know the golden parachute are those who go into the ministries, where like as in the military, as an institution, like at Tangam like, so that in these monasteries also does have a. So are there there are monks which are close to the SAC might get a higher position. That's true. In my analysis, I would say that that the monks who support them, that there are monks who support SAC, and these monks will get more donation, as well as on the more position in the Sangha, or which is the organization that manages the affairs of the Buddhist monks as well. We are welcoming you to questions. I think these questions are very interesting. interesting coming from the people directly. That's why we have given more time as well. We still have more time there, so that please feel free to ask questions. We also, if you have questions to the speakers, also as well. Here I see another question. It was on the live as well. Now there is a rumor that police that SS, is it true the SSC is recruiting soldiers from the police force? Yes, it's a rumor we also have heard. So Kulaya, can you share your opinion? Is it true that police officers are being they were also news that police officers and especially non-commissioned officers will be sent to the to the front line as well? Yes, I have tried to answer as well. Like not just the police, they want to call everyone, all the civil servant as well, and that they would send them everyone as well, and that you know that they would not want to go to the front line because they all think that that will also means that it is bad for them, that you know they will not be able to do that. You know that the police officers, the police, they just want to stay in the, you know, state. I mean, they are not. They don't. I mean, they don't like fighting. They don't. They don't want to be go and they're gun blazing. They don't want to. They just want to get some money out of the criminals and the bribery. They don't want to go. If they want to, if they make their soldiers, if they make them soldiers out of the police force, they will probably leave. That you know they might leave and they might even that also, if you are being forced to serve in the front lines for the police officer, that's the time where you can ask for assistance from the areas that also that if you are you know that you know if they are being if you are being if the military officers are being transferred to the civil service, then I think there are a lot of people are happy about it because they don't want to fight, they don't want to kill others. And if you look at who you are killing, they're students, your young doctors, teachers, they are gathering, they are picking up weapons to fight, and you don't want to kill them. Then if you get chance, if these police, the military and military officer, they get transferred into the civil service post, that they might think that they have a chance to be able to start a new life and to be able to free their life as well, like do that I think that will also, they will also like it, they will also welcome it. For them it's opportunity to be able to do better. Yes, as it was shared earlier, sometimes that you know that the SSC its own strategy. Its strategy is to build it. Is they will build a propaganda, and that they will do it. They will brainwash people. They want to make sure they have their people, because as it's always us and them with the military. They said those are, if you are, they believe those who came from the military side, so that they want these cells in different areas. That's why they put in these cells as infiltrated as well. I think this is something that is this is not new. It has happened in the past before, and that in the 2015 there was a black ribbon campaign, and then when we have to, you know, everyone has to wear black ribbon to say no to those parachutists as well. And after the coup, also there were also the problem as well. I think it will not end there. I think it is important that beyond we need to think about beyond the revolution as well. Beyond the revolution, that military just stay in the barracks. Military should go back to the military has a duty to protect the people from the threat as well, not to oppress the people, not to attack the people. And for any reason, that the ministry should not be transferred to other ministry. No, if they want to transfer, they either if it's a colonel or if it's a general, it doesn't matter. Then they find a position that is adapted to a profession they have to adapt to. They have to start from the very beginning. They have to start from growth. Right now they are jumping in, and that's why we call them the golden parachutes, because they're jumping they're like a parachute, like they're flying high from a plane and they're landing at a high senior position. And that's this kind of policy we have to change. That during this, you know, what we are, if you look at those, all those or those, you know, these are former police officer, we need to you know, during the transition period, we need to send them back to their places. That it is, if for that we need laws, we need to have policies as well, and that these are is related as well, that It also is related to the transitional justice as well. That and another part is the role of the CDM and the role of the non-CDM as well. And then and also there are also like this golden parachute. These are the different rules. We need to understand that. We need to put them back in their own places, and we need to be sent back to their own departments. What is important is also now that in the country that we want to build, we want to make sure, we really want to make sure that we don't have a new round of these people. We need to have strong policies and guidelines to ensure that it's very clear as well. The role of the civil servants is very important in your policy, so that there is also that the law what we have, civil servants law, is no longer enough. We also need to think about, we need to build transitional justice really well to be able to make it effective. Without strong policy, if we don't have strong policy, I'm sure that in the future as well, like we'll see we'll see other Black Ribbon campaigns also in the future. So we need policies, and that we need a framework, we need laws as well. Thank you, Sia. Thank you for that. I think what you have shared is also important for us. It also is related to what we are sharing as well, that it is something we all need to know as well, that this idea, this kind of thinking is important, that for that's what we are facing, that this is one of the challenges that we face now, that it is important for the future, that is also part of the work that our generation, that you do to ensure the professionalism as well, that to become a professional, to do your job as well. The problem is these are not, people are not military will always try to control that for bribery, to facilitate their businesses. I think it is important to change that as well. We need to that it is important for whatever system, whatever democracy we have, the corruption, bribery, nepotism will endanger the system. So it is important. We need to have transitional justice. That is important, that it is also important for us to start talking about it as well. It is also important to develop professionalism in every area, that the professionalism is important, to ensure that whatever there is, that we need to say no to this kind of that position as well, and that it is important that are not transferring them to officers as golden parachute in your. It is also important to make sure that we have a policy, and that we also have a policy, and we also make sure that it is also prevented as well. And we hope that also we'll be able to be thank you for joining us. We'll also be inviting other interesting speakers to ask us to share about important topic as well. And thank you to the speakers and those who have asked us questions as well. I think since we don't have any other questions, I would like to end here, so that today's topic of golden parachute, and that and the military, the plans of the military. Thank you to our speakers, Captain Thuya, and that Policeman Golayang. Thank you. We also like to thank those who have shared their comments and asked questions. Thank you very much for your attention and participation. We hope that you'll remain safe, and that in the future, we hope that also be able to share as well, like talk about it. We will also be discussing other important topics, what is also important as well. And that thank you all for joining us.